definitely my number one spinner that I've ever played against and saw, simply from the fact that mentally, I think he was stronger than everybody else.
Oh, he's got him, yes, he's got him. Warne's got a wicket in his first over again.
I think Shane Warne, with the bowling attack that he played with, majority of the time, if it wasn't Craig McDermott and Bruce Reid, it would have been Pearson Gillespie, Brett Lee, and I felt that nearly on every occasion he was bowling maybe at 10 wickets out of the 20. The fast bowlers would get their opportunities. They were all very good bowlers. And we've seen other spinners around the world where, from ball one, they were given the ball and they had that opportunity to bowl from the very beginning. So I think what made him great was the conditions that he played in Australia. I think it's even conditions. It's good for fast bowlers early on. It's great for batsmen in the middle of a test match. And of course, the spinners come into their own, second, third, fourth day go on. Shane Warne was just the sort of bowler that was so versatile in any conditions that he was playing in, be it on a cold day at Lord's in England or at the MCG or maybe down in the Caribbean, where sometimes, the pitches are pretty good to bat on. I think that he excelled in all conditions, and he would be definitely my number one spinner that I've ever played against and saw, simply from the fact that mentally, I think he was stronger than everybody else.
800 days from a time,
Murali did give me quite a bit of problems, and I scored a lot of runs against him, but he was a very, very tricky spinner. The other spinners that actually gave me problems, I think, is guys who didn't like to give the ball air. I like to come down the track and get to the pitch of the ball. So anybody like Anil Kumble, Harbhajan Singh, Sakling Mustak, who kept it flat and kept me in my crease, sort of frustrated me. And those were the ones that actually I least wanted to face.
Wasim Akram has struck. He has got the vital wicket.
One for sure, and that's Wasim Akram. He was the best fast bowler and the most threatening fast bowler that I've ever faced. His deceptive pace, able to swing the ball both ways, and he was just an exceptional talent.
Oh, he's got him! McGrath's got 2 and 2 balls, that's a beauty!
Glenn McGrath would have gotten me out more than any other bowler in the world. A guy who's very stingy with his runs. He was just on one line, one length, and he frustrated you. He had the wicket-taking balls as well. Maybe not the pace of a lot of the other fast bowlers, but someone that troubled me a lot. So Glenn McGrath, Wasim Akram would be up there. If I'm allowed, I'd love to call my West Indian fast bowlers because I was so happy to be playing international cricket with them and not against them. But I did play first-class cricket against Courtney Walsh, Malcolm Marshall, the late Malcolm Marshall, and of course Curtly Ambrose. And they were very, very special talent. Coming to the end of my career, I had a test match or two against the Englishman, the top fast bowler wicket-taker Anderson.
Outstanding skill levels from Anderson.
From a very young age, I felt had that ability to become a great fast bowler. And you see today what he has achieved. There's been a number of fast bowlers around the world. Mackay Ntini, Sean Pollock, Alan Donnell, Waka Yunus and Shoaib Akhtar. There's just a number of them, and special breed of fast bowlers.
And that is a magnificent century from Sachin Tendulkar.
Definitely Sachin Tendulkar. And that's not taking anything away from pre-Sachin time in Indian batting, because obviously they had Sunil Gavaskar, Mohammad Azharuddin. But when you're talking about an Indian player in India, right, there are a number of them who's going to score a lot of runs against you. When the Indian batsmen left India, there were few who would survive and sort of, acclimatize to the conditions in Australia or the Caribbean. And that was the first thing I saw with Sachin, is that it doesn't matter where you took him, it doesn't matter the pace of the bowler or the amount of spin that he's getting, he had the technique capable of handling everything. And I think the Indian public also recognized that they had this one man, right, that would stand up in every conditions. And I think it was his first test match against Pakistan, or very, very early in his career, if it wasn't his first, where he actually got hit. I think from a short delivery, not sure if it was Waka or Wasim or Shoaib, but he got up, dusted his pants, he was bleeding as well, and he stood up there and he batted. And that is something that not just Indian batsmen, a lot of batsmen around the world, you know, will be scurrying to the pavilion to get treatment and, you know, spend some time back there. But I think he showed a lot of guts, and then obviously his talent and his ability, his technique, was something that was sort of picture perfect. And he just blossomed into maybe one of the greatest batsmen of all time. From the age of 16, I think 25 years of international cricket, and that's something very special.
Ricky Ponting becomes the only player in history to score hundreds in each innings of his 100th Test match.
Ricky was just a great player, first of all. I think he started his career, and there was a period of time that he was, you know, in and out of the team. And I think I remembered the innings that actually got him or solidify his place in Australia in the batting lineup, and that was in Barbados, I think, in 1999. He scored 100, and from there I think he just took it, you know, it was no turning back for Ricky. And his confidence in batting, again, in all conditions, was a joy to watch, and that's what makes a good batsman. It's just like he needs to have the ideal conditions for him to play well. You know, great batsmen bat in all conditions, and they are successful. And that's one of the things that with Ricky, you know, I think he leaned more on the side of aggression, and then if he had to backtrack, he would, okay, bring out a good defensive shot. And that is a very dangerous batsman to face as an opposing captain. Yeah, he scored a lot of runs, different conditions, and I think he proved himself.
Gilchrist is on his way to a century here, and it's not going to take him long.
With Gilly, is very simple. During his career, Australia would have been the best team in the world. So I don't know how many innings he would average a test match. It definitely wouldn't be 2. I mean, I didn't average 2 innings a test match, and I played in a declining team. So he most likely had not much opportunity to bat. But whenever he did, and whenever Australia was in trouble, you know, Gilly came out and he counter-attacked. Batting number 6 or number 7, he came out there and he's got some big hundreds on some tight situations, pretty much taking the bowling attack apart. I picked Sangakkara as well as another wicket-keeper batsman. I used to wicket-keep when I was younger. And to have that skill as a wicket-keeper, to be able to bat that well, where in one-day games, Gilchrist was opening, Sangakkara was opening, and I think it's just a special gift. And that 100 that Gilchrist made in Barbados in the finals, it's just another special occasion. But also with all the Australians in the team, the one guy I spend a lot of close time with is the wicketkeeper, the guy who's mumbling at the back of me. So I've had loads of conversations with Adam Gilchrist over the years, and we share a special relationship as well.
Century for Carl Hooper. His 5th in Test match cricket.
You know, there's one player that I feel that the rest of the world really didn't get to see the true talent that he had. I mean, his scores didn't represent his talent really, and that was Carl Hooper. I felt that Carl Hooper was just a ridiculously talented teenager when I first met him, and he became a world-class all-rounder. But his batting alone was just something. It was a joy to watch. The grace and the style of his play as a youngster was good, and he was scoring a lot of runs back in those days.